Wait, what? No, not now. I was just killing the Big Daddy in BioShock. No, this why would the power go off now? That's such bad timing. All right, well, what's that? What's that? I hear some. What is that? No, it's not possible. No, it can't be here.
I just whipped. Sorry, do you want your milk whipped?
No milk. Like just sit down. Let's do this review.
Okay. Oh, sorry. This is dangerous thing.
Yeah, you don't say.
So,
BioShock. The collection.
All 3 games, which means BioShock 1, BioShock 2, and you guessed it, but it's wrong. It's BioShock Infinite, but it's basically the 3rd one.
The first 2 in this collection are actually the remastered version, so better graphics, smoothed out gameplay, optimization, all that good stuff.
And all of the 3 games are including DLCs. So all 3 of these games are first-person shooter experiences with an dystopian atmosphere and RPG elements that shaped some of the games that arrived after this years.
Definitely reformed the FPS genre. If you're not familiar with the story, like it is dystopian but not futuristic. It's set in the early 20th century with kind of an Art Deco style to it because this guy named Andrew Ryan tried to create a perfect society based on some philosophies called objectivism, and that foundation really makes the story very interesting and elaborate because there's a lot of thought that went into the creation of this game and the idea of the society. But bad news, by the time you arrive, the player of the first game, things have gone really, really badly, and everyone is just killing each other, and you have to basically shoot your way out to stay alive.
So the recipe is quite similar to all 3 games, but in the first one you play survivor in Underwater City. In the second one you play as one of the Big Daddies, the one with the drill instead of arm. And in the third one, the Infinite, you play detective in the flying city of Columbia that is much more open-spaced and full of people still alive. So it's a bit different than the other ones.
The first 2 games are very similar. The third one goes to a completely different location, even different graphic style, but is still very much part of the main story. And finishing up the story, if you were wondering, now that you have all 3 games, you really should play these games in order. Even if the third one looks more interesting, you're going to get a lot more out of the story if you start from the beginning and play through them 1, 2, and 3. So the stories in all 3 games are excellent, and I know today a lot of games have really well-written stories, but 15 years ago when the first game was published, that was not so common, and BioShock 1 really created the idea of having deep, thoughtful stories in the game. But this is, first and foremost, a shooter. So how is the shooting?
So there's a lot of weapons from the range, like the shooting ones. There's some even supernatural skills, and each one of the weapons can have 3 different modes. And there are these RPG elements.
So combining these skills, the different types of supernatural weapons, and the real weapons with lots of variations, you can get an almost unlimited number of combinations of effects on the enemies, and this is limited pretty much only by your own creativity.
And the level design is good enough, so it lets you to play in a different ways. You have multiple ways how to progress, but it's all in a way of shooting, but not this mindless shooting. But the question is, should you play it?
Well, first you should know that these games are actually free from the Epic Game Store. If you claim them this week, you get to keep them forever. And that's what we do on this channel. We announce and review all of the free games on the Epic Game Store. They give away free games every week, so make sure you're subscribed so you're never bored again. So I consider myself a gamer, but I have to admit that even though I've been aware of these games for at least 10 or 12 years, and I knew that they were very important, excellent games, I had never played them before preparing for this review. So coming to them in 2022, as an adult gamer, you could wonder if they still hold up, if they still have the hype. And let me just spoil it. Yes, they do. Like, FPS is not my favorite genre. These games also get a little bit scary. There are moments that are a little bit like a horror game. You're being chased by something much more powerful than you, dark corners, things are jumping out at you. So it's a bit frightening. If you have zero tolerance for a horror game, you might not enjoy this. But for me, it was just the right balance to be intense, and gosh, all three of these games start with a bang. From the very first moment. The first game starts with a plane crash and then builds up from there. You are completely immersed in these worlds. The environment and the philosophy is interesting. The action is intense. It's difficult for me to find anything negative to say about it. Yes, you should play BioShock.
Maybe one negative is that there's no more multiplayer on the remastered version of BioShock 2.
Well, when I played, I didn't know that there was ever multiplayer, so I didn't miss it. Well, now everyone's going to miss it. That's a negative.
Well, we have a whole video about it, so you can actually get to play it. Click the video if you want to know why.
Yeah.
But these games are all about single player. They're good in their genre, and I might not say these games are first-person shooters. They are more likely RPGs to me, because you are more thinking about how to progress rather than jumping into the room and shoot everything. And I've played this game when they came out, and I like the most the third one, the Infinite, because how open space it is, and really the first one and the second one is more claustrophobic because it's in underwater city, and some rooms are bigger, but still there's some limitation. It's more atmospheric, but I like the BioShock Infinite for its full of life, full of people and good guys, bad guys. And it felt more like Dishonored to me than BioShock. So I think I would sort it to two games, the BioShock and Infinite. I think they're all three games are worth your time. So you should definitely try it, and you should not look at how old it is. Old doesn't mean bad. This is great games.
Well, especially when an old game has been remastered and still has such beautiful graphics like these do.
And if you've played one of these games, and it is quite possible that you did, because the BioShock franchise sold amazing 37 million number of copies, then right now there are DLCs you might not have played before, so consider that.
Yeah. So don't let the age fool you. Make sure you claim these. Make sure you get them in your library, even if you won't have time for them right away. It's a limited time offer for them to be free, and then they go back to full price. So we hope this was helpful. Let us know in the comments if you have played BioShock before, and in what year did you play your first BioShock game? Tell us that. If you haven't ever played it before, tell us if you're planning to play this version soon. And with that, we hope to see you in our next video. See you next time. Bye.
Wait, didn't we want it to outro?
Outro? No, we had an intro. So, what's wrong with your arm, Big Daddy?